Welcome back to another Kitchen Table Wargaming Battle Report. Oh, it's gonna be ugly and bubbly and gurgly and nasty. We got straight up Nurgle Deamons list going against my Grey Knights. This is gonna be a wild ride. Here's your Warlords. I'll just get a good look at this dude. I 3D printed a majority of this army actually. It's kind of funny. And I'm finally getting to face off against it. The paint work has been spectacular and I've seen pictures of it, so I'm excited to see it on the table. I hope I don't get destroyed by my own monstrous creations. Ha ha ha. I did not create the models, sorry, but I did purchase and print them. So there we have it, Grey Knights versus Nurgle Deamons. Hold on to your hats, folks. Alrighty folks, here's the Grey Knights list that I'm running today. It's 2,000 points exactly. We're running, as you can see, it's a double patrol. You might not be able to see that, but there's 5 sets of interceptors there. We have our 2 characters, the Tech Marine. We have the Brotherhood Captain, who is the Warlord. He has the Unyielding Anvil, so it's the OBSEC Aura. He has the Cuirass for the +1 to the save and the 5-up Feel No Pain. The Grandmaster Dread Knight there also has the Sigil of Exigence, and I'm gonna have to double check if I paid for him to have Servant of the Throne. I'm almost 100% positive that I did. Although in shifting points around from my last game, I think I had to get rid of the redeploy strat, not strat, but redeploy upgrade. So I'll double check that and we'll talk about it before game. We have 2 Nemesis Dread Knights, Psy Cannons and Silencers. Grandmaster Dread Knight is also a Psy Cannon and Silencer. So those are those guys there. We have 2 squads of 5 Strike Marines. I have 3 Dreadnoughts with heavy plasma cannons and combat weapon with storm bolters. And then I have a Venerable Dreadnought with also the heavy plasma and the combat weapon. Almost done painting them up, almost done getting everything set and tabletop ready. Just have 2 weapons that are not 100% prepared and maybe a little more work on the bases. So there you have it. We're going to be running Sword Bearers today. I achieved the cool goal of being able to post polls and images and things. So I put a poll up to see if we wanted to see Preservers or Sword Bearers. And the overwhelming response was Sword Bearers one more time. So we're doing Sword Bearers again today. And we'll see. It was not a bad option in the last game. But I do want to mess around with Preservers at some point just to see how they do. But that is not for today's battle report. So here's your 2,000 points double patrol list. Grey Knights on the march. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the disgustingness of the Nurgle Deamons list. It's so gross. It's fabulous. We'll start with the ginormous blob of Plague Bears. That's actually a squad. You said it was 29 Plague Bears?
Yeah, this is 29. This is 30.
Oh, this is 30 here. These Poxwalkers, don't let them fool you. They're actually Plague Bearers. We just didn't have a chance to get them fully painted out, so we're proxying them. And then we have the Horticulturalist Slimus right here, or Horticulturalist. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but the Slimus dude, he's right there. He's buffing not 1, not 2, but 3 squads of Beasts of Nurgle. Yes, fabulous, amazing. Beasts of Nurgle, just you don't see them very often at all, so I'm excited about this. They're going to be a pain in the rear. We've got 3 Plague Drones, and then we've got 3, yes, that's right, 3 Great Unclean Ones. This big boy is the Warlord. He has the Warlord trait gives him an extra wound, and he has a relic that gives him the ability to heal 1 wound per turn.
Yep.
Correct? Okay. They're all 3 rocking the Miasma spell and the Fleshly Abundance spell to heal units around them. These 2 big boys, I think you said 2 of them are also Greater Exalted,
Yeah,
or all 3 of them?
You have a 4+.
All 3 of them are, or just the 2?
All of them.
All 3. Okay, so all 3 are. These 2 guys have the bell. What was the bell called?
Doomsday Bell.
Doomsday Bell, so they can bring back models around them. There's a lot of actual, like it's an apothecary kind of thing. They can bring back up to D3 models around them. Fleshly Abundance lets them restore wounds. So there's a lot of bringing stuff back. And if you're not familiar, Nurgle Deamons have a strat specifically for the Grey Knights that if a Grey Knights unit destroys a Nurgle Deamons unit, for 2 CP that unit can come back. You heard me right. The unit comes back. Is going to be crazy. So we're going to have us some fun. I'm going to get rid of some nasty Nurgle rot and hopefully outscore them because I don't think this army is going to be disappearing off the table very quickly. We're going to have us some fun today. So this is 2,000 points. We'll come back. And this, by the way, it is still an 8th edition book. But this is probably one of those books that you can't shift off the table very easily. can still put out some damage and can still hold stuff down. So it's going to be cool to see how it goes against the Grey Knights here. So we'll come back in a little bit to talk about the mission and show you deployments. Ladies and gentlemen, we rolled up mission 32. It is Death and Zeal, which I find appropriate because that over there is Death and I represent Zeal. Aha! It's mission number 32 in the book. This one has a direct assault. If you take an objective that's not yours, you gain 2 points. If you kill an enemy unit off an objective, you can gain 2 points. If you do both of those things, you can gain 3 points. Or there is the comical first part of that is if you hold all of the objectives on the board, you can get 2 points for that, which nobody ever really actually intends to do. So that's the mission we have chosen for our secondaries. Carlo realized he might have a little bit of trouble with his third secondary, but he has engaged. No prisoners could be hard for him because I don't have a lot of points to give up for that, but he doesn't have a lot of heavy killing things either, so we'll see what happens there. And raise banners. I'm taking Purify Ritual. No prisoners because there's lots of things in his army that I can count over and over again if I continue to kill them over and over again. So it could be good news for me. And I'm also trying out Engage on all fronts. So those are those things. Deployment zones, I had him start deploying first. I put a Vendread, Interceptors, Tech Marine, a couple of Dreadnoughts here on this side, Grandmaster, and a Dread Knight. We got some strikes back here. Brother Captain's downstairs on the first floor, so it's not actually visible, but he's easier to see up here. Another Dreadnought, Interceptors, and a Dread Knight. We have a strike squad and an interceptor squad hanging out in the deep strike. On this side of the board, the Nurgle deathly goodness of gift giving is all crammed into all kinds of small spaces. Beast of Nurgle. This dude remembers the Warlord. He's got the cool claw-looking deal on the outside. We've got more beasts. The Horticulus, slimy dude, I don't know. Plague Bearer in the corner down there. More Plague Bearers, more beasts, more Plague Drones. Great Unclean One, more and more Plague Bearers over here. So Plague Bearers everywhere, beasties everywhere. Nothing's gonna die very fast. It's gonna be crazy. Don't forget, old 8th edition book still has 5-up invul for everything. And 5-up invuls for everything except for the exalted. The big boys have a 4-up invul, so it's gonna be
4-up, feel no pain.
Yeah, oh sorry, and feel no pain. It's gonna be disgusting all the way around. Disgusting. It's just perfect. It's perfect. They're grody. They're disgusting. That's how it's gonna be. So, Mr. Carlo, would you like to roll a die and see who will go first in this engagement, sir? Here we go.
Oh, Jesus! See?
Oh. He started off strong, but I started stronger with a 6.
Oh, God.
It'll be Grey Knights. Turn 1. Oh, by the way, I double-checked my points. I do have my redeploy, and I do have the 3-up invul once a game for him.
Yeah,
so those are my blessings there, and we're going to get this party started. So here we have the end of the Grey Knights turn 1. Strike Marines popped onto this objective. Brother Captain sat still. This guy went as fast as he could, but it's -2 to go through. He is sitting on there, but we play it as passable. Dense terrain is how we use this stuff. So he's stuck up there. These interceptors moved up. I used the 2 CP teleport to bump him over there to that objective to make it harder for any raising banners shenanigans. Then Captain stayed still. These guys all just kind of shuffled over. I did use my redeploy to bring the Venerable Dreadnought up here in the front and Interceptors up here in the front, and I moved somebody else. I don't remember who anymore, but this Dreadnought from that corner came over here so that everybody's clustered up. So we used Shadow of Undying Legends for the reroll ones to wound from this guy, and then the Grandmaster gave reroll ones for hitting, except for that guy, because Venerable Dreadnoughts don't count from your Brotherhood bonuses, which is weird. These guys obviously shunted over, or didn't shunt, but moved their 12 to get on the objective. He scooted over, still able to see and draw line of sight, and we shot the Plague Drone unit from behind the Great Unclean One with everything except the Dread Knights. So all of my Dreadnoughts and the one Dread Knight in that back corner picked up the Plague Drones. Then my 2 remaining Dread Knights and the last Dreadnought shot into this dude, and we took him down to, 11 wounds left? Or 10 wounds left? 10 wounds left. So we did some work there. We did cast Sanctuary onto this guy for the 4-up invul, and that was it. The rest of my psychic was real bad. I did do the purifying ritual on my 3 objectives that I'm holding, so that was good. I scored 3 on that. But otherwise, most of my spells failed, which is kind of embarrassing. They weren't even denied. I just straight up failed. So that is the end of my turn. I picked up 3 purify ritual, 1 no prisoners, 2 engage because I'm baby engaged in the 3/4 there. Yeah, that's it. I did spend kind of a few command points already too for the different psychic onslaught, which I spent for the Dread Knight to shoot into that guy and do extra damage, and the Shadow of Undying Legends and 2 CP teleport to bump that guy over. Oh, and speaking of which, Carlo also spent 2 command points because if you're playing against Grey Knights and they kill a Chaos or a Nurgle Deamons unit, such as Plague Drones, 2 CP, and those boys get to come back to the table in his next turn immediately after the movement phase is ended. So basically a reinforcement. Very dirty. So those plague drones are going to come back and they're going to be annoying. Yeah, and he can keep using the strat till he runs out of CP. So I'm, I knew it was a thing. I didn't realize it didn't occur to me till after it happened that it allowed for the redeploy. But yeah, that's going to happen. So we'll be back for Nurgle Deamons turn 1 in a minute. Alright, the end of Nurgle Deamons, turn 1.
Next time I'm gonna
Everything has advanced. And yeah, that's it. Everybody advanced as fast as we could through the terrain over here. Those are dense, so -2 to all these big chungus things. He went as fast as he could, got up onto that objective. Plague bearers back there did as fast as they could and are touching that, so it's OBSEC. Back yonder, the very back corner, those guys did raise the banners. They're the one unit that did not advance, so they were still able to raise banners here. This is crazy stuff. These little jellyfishies, they went as fast as they could, which was an advance of 1. He had to CP reroll an advance for the plague bears there. He rolled a 1 and needed just at least a 2 or 3 to get them to that objective. So we re-rolled it into a 6. It was a magnificent reroll. So they charged all the way through, got onto that objective, and being OBSEC, they take it from a Dread Knight back there. So that's good for them. Big boy here, he also ran up there. He failed to smite. This guy here cast Miasma successfully onto this guy. I could not deny him. He did also try to do Fleshy Abundance to heal him, which I did deny with my +1 for being a Grey Knight. I'm so proud. And then this boy said, hey, I'm going to smite you. So he cast a smite into him. He got 6s, right? So that's a perils. He's like, I'll take the perils because he has a 4-up, feel no pain. He did 2 mortal wounds to me, which I shrugged both of them like a boss. He rolled D3, got 2 mortal wounds on himself. He took both of them because he's not a boss. I was really excited about that. So, that's the end of that. So everything's just getting nasty and close. Oh, sorry, not the end. Dun dun dun. End of movement phase. Plague drones came back. They're in that table quarter so that they get engaged for the baby engage points. And he did also take an objective that was not his at the start of the turn, so we got 2 for the mission bonus. That is now it. So, wild stuff. I'm not a big fan of this whole 2 command point, bring back anything that dies, because, folks, if I kill this dude in this turn, he just has to spend 2 command points to put him right back on the table. And I do not score no prisoners points killing characters. So that's not cool. I have to be careful about this. So he is bracketed now that he hurt himself psychically, so I can be happy with that at least. And then I got to figure out how to dance around all this other nonsense. It's crazy. So yeah, and he has a bell, so he can, if I only injure these dudes, he can ring his nasty bell and bring some back. So I've got a wipe. Like anything I shoot at, I just have to kill it all. It's kind of annoying. It's very cool, but it's really annoying. So that is the end of Nurgle Deamons turn 1. Here we go with Grey Knights turn 2 next. Alrighty, it is the end of Grey Knights turn 2. So over here we had Psybolt ammunition spent on those guys. We did Psychic Onslaught on this guy. We shot everything into these guys and killed them with these squads here. Over here we spent for the Shadow of Undying Legends. I feel like my light's a little too low. So the Shadow of Undying Legends went off on the Venerable Dreadnought. I mean, I paid for it, not went off. So they had the reroll 1s to hit bubble here because there were no characters. These interceptors moved up to be real danger close to the Beastie Boys there, and we cast the Empiric Lodestone onto the Beastie Boys as well, so all of my Dreadnoughts were wounding on 2s essentially. We did smite a little bit and did a few wounds more on the injured guy, some wounds on the beasties that I killed in melee. I had to actually charge to get rid of the last one. He had 1 wound left, charged him there with that squad. So this group is all kind of castled up, touching into the terrain for most of them so they could see through if they need to. Into the middle, kind of left that guy alone, don't really want to kill him because that stratagem does not exclude characters. He could just bring back a fully healthy Great Unclean One. I'm not for that. So I'm going to probably dance around him the whole game. However, when I did kill the beasts, he did spend his 2 command points to bring them back, so they'll come in as reinforcements in his next turn. Yet again, I killed 2 Plague Bearers from that squad. I killed 7 Plague Bearers back there, a Deep Struck unit of Interceptors. You can barely see them back there because it's a mob of angry, nasty, yummy stuff. We killed a couple in combat, a couple in shooting, and actually most of it was in shooting. And then the hit back, we did not suffer any injuries there from that. Then over here in this corner, I teleported with Gate of Infinity the captain to the back to give myself obsec on the Dread Knight and the Interceptor squad. And through the means of melee and shooting, we reduced that mob of poxwalkers. I keep trying to call them poxwalkers. They're plague bearers. I reduced their number down significantly. I think there's only 6 or 7 of them left, and there were only 2 touching that objective. So I stole the objective with my obsec, trailing back to my captain there with the Interceptors and the Dread Knight. So that was kind of a blow because he's trying to clear me off of that objective and raise banners, and I also stole it for points purposes. Huzzah, hurrah. So that was the end of my turn. This dude's just kind of hanging out in the middle, shooting into these Plague Bearers here. Not trying to get terribly close to any of these big choppy things, even though I did get consolidated or heroic into by that over there. I managed to roll all my saves, which is kind of rude after I killed so many of his things, but I'm not sad. That will be the end of my turn. So I picked up 4 points on no prisoners, 2 for Purify Ritual because my Dread Knight in the back corner failed to cast it on a 4, and I got 3 for an Engage because I'm in all the quarters at the moment. So that will be the end of Grey Knight's turn 2. Alright, the end of the Nurgle Deamons turn 2 is upon us. So, Shadow of Undying Legends now ends. It goes into your command phase, by the way. I realized that this game. So over here, these slug beasties came back in on this quarter. They just barely had a pocket. I had them screened out everywhere else. I was proud of myself. Over here, Big Chungus and Little Chungus made charges. I did spend 2 for Transhuman or True Silver. I lost 3 anyways, thanks to this big old nasty dude sword. But the last 2 survived, and I rolled on morale and they passed, so good for them. These slug beasts advanced forwards. This guy just moved up. These other guys advanced around to try to make a little wall around his Plague Bearers, because that's their obsec unit in that bunch there. So they're protecting them a little bit. He did do the Fleshly Abundance and healed 2 wounds on him, which also resulted in a Perils and caused him to take a wound because he didn't shrug all of his mortals for Perils. Naughty, naughty. This guy cast Miasma. This dude over here did Smite, and then in combat I failed all of my saves and his D3s rolled hot, so I'm down to 2 wounds on that Dread Knight. But he got to fight before the Great Unclean One, so the Dread Knight killed all but 2 of the Plague Bearers, and then my Interceptor squad finished them off. And of course, Carlos spent 2 command points, because they're just going to come back in the next turn. It's a stratagem, just like any other stratagem, because it's an old book. Can still happen, and will go off, and I'm very disappointed. So, thankfully, Carlos is about to run out of command points. But he still has 2, so he could do it again, and I would be real sad. Over here, I hit them, killed like 5 more, thanks to the 6s doing mortal wounds. And then he failed morale. That was nice of him, but he only lost 2 to failing morale. But it is still a failed morale. Oh, this guy was so injured he couldn't ring his bell, so he didn't bring any dudes back this turn here. That guy over there did ring his bell and bring a guy back, so that was, you know, he did his bell ringing, and that's it, I think. So he picks up 2 for Baby Engage again, thanks to these slug dudes. Well, this guy would have secured it also, but that wasn't guaranteed at the beginning of the turn. And he got a banner raised, and he had 8 for primary again because he was still holding 2. So that is the end of our turn 2. Battle round 3 is coming up with Grey Knight's turn 3 next. Alrighty folks, the Grey Knight's turn 3 has come to an end. Moved around out here in such a way as to screen from shenanigans dropping in my back zone over here. I did move this guy down and around to make a big charge. Look, Nurgle is blessing us with a June bug on the table in the middle of our filming. I shot 2 of these dudes with shooting, and then he failed a 6-inch charge. It was embarrassing, and I spent all my CP already. I spent 1 command point for the yonder back interceptor squad to fall back and then still shoot and charge, which helped because I was able to whittle down that unit to like 3 dudes left. I charged in, killed all but 1, and then he failed his morale, so that was nice. Over here, we moved around a little bit, did the Undying Legends again for this Dreadnought so we could not kill ourselves with plasma. And then it was kind of disappointing because nothing really happened over here except that my Venerable decided to charge in and be a hero. He did like 3 damage to this Great Unclean one, and then he got killed real bad. Snail Boy killed my 2 remaining interceptors. Over here, I shot and did another wound or 2 to him. And that was about it there. I have claimed that objective back there, and over here my Dread Knight died as it was expected to do. I did cast Sanctuary on the interceptors, so they're at a 4-up invul, and that is all there is to say. Oh, and after I killed that squad back there, he spent his last 2 command points to bring that squad back. So he's currently bringing in 2 giant units of Plague Bearers, which I've already killed once. Kind of upset about this, but I'm not going to have to deal with this again. So now I can freely kill Great Unclean Ones, with no repercussions. I did do Purify Ritual 3 times again, and I've got some more points for no prisoners because he keeps bringing stuff back for me to kill. It's terrific. And I'm engaged in all the quarters, so that is where we're at. It's going into Nurgle Deamons turn 3 next. Alright, it's the end of Nurgle turn 3, Nurgle Deamons. This stuff is fine over here. This stuff is not. We lost our squad of Strike Marines because Big Chungus came in and just smacked them instead of anything else. This guy did take 4 wounds from the laughing, crazy, nurgly, puppy, doggy thingies here. And then this guy was fine, this guy was fine. We hit back, we took more wounds off this dude. Big boy here is down to 10 wounds, I believe. So there's a chance, a small chance I can kill him in the near future. These guys only took 2 wounds. It was very disappointing from my Dreadnought. I rolled 1s and 2s to do the wounding over here. They only needed like 3s and nothing. Anyways, that happened. Big brain plays over here. I have to say this was a good move on Carlo's behalf. He paid the 2 to save these guys in the shooting phase, I think it was, and paid 2 to save these guys in the combat phase because they're 2 different phases. That stratagem is valid. Brought back both of these huge squads, and then he proceeded to roll 10s and 12s on his charges. This big old mob comes in. They were back here outside of 9 inches, made an 11-inch charge. This squad was back behind this building, kind of in this pocket, and seeing how we already had OBSEC on this point, he charged in over on that point. I lost most of my interceptors. I'll have to roll the morale. I'll do that in a minute. But that was a bummer. So he took back both of these objectives, gets the mission bonus. Now he's holding 4 of the 5 objectives. This one over here is contested at the moment. We're even 3 and 3 models on it, and nobody has OBSEC because he killed all my OBSEC. Kind of an interesting situation we have going on. So it's probably getting close to being time to cut my losses and run. I don't know. We'll have to see how we're going to pull this one out. This is kind of crazy now. So, yeah. Thankfully, he doesn't have the command points to bring back a unit immediately. But his next turn, he'll be back up to enough to do it one last time. Oh, it'll be it'll be turn 4. So, yeah, he'll still be able to pull it off one more time. Ah, that's crazy. So, we'll be back. He did pick up 2 more for engage. Another for no prisoners for killing another 5 strikes over there. Actually, he's got 2 more for no prisoners. I counted wrong. You got 2 squads. You got 1 interceptor squad finished off and 1 strike marine squad. And that's where we're at on that. So we'll be back for the Grey Knights turn 4 in just a minute. Well, the Grey Knights turn 4 is ended. These guys did their Gate of Infinity from the Grandmaster, landed over there in that little pocket, made a nice 9-inch charge into the Plague Bearers. Not enough to get on the objective because that objective was very well swarmed, as you can see, with these guys. So we got in here, we did our fighting, piled in, still can't be on the objective yet. These guys used my 1 command point, fall back, shoot, charge. So we killed all but 12, which is not nothing. Over on this side of the board, we just walked away and then charged back in. This Great Unclean One, how many wounds does he have left? Because the captain did a little bit of work on him. We did some smiting, some shooting.
Oh, sorry.
He's down a little, but
10.
he's not dead. He's down to 10. We charged in. This Dreadnought did absolutely nothing in combat. It was the most horrific. All 1s and 2s to hit. Amazing. The captain, he did a bunch of work, but that guy's still alive. This guy took a few shots. He's down to like 7 wounds, I believe. And the captain, the Grandmaster, the Warlord of all ugliness, he's dead. What's really sad, though, this Dread Knight with Hammerhand made a charge and managed to do, like, 1 wound, maybe. We did do some shooting from guys in combat. We did some smiting, so he had taken wounds. But this guy did almost nothing. And then he got smacked really hard. He's down to 3 wounds left. And then this guy dropped the Great Unclean One to 1 wound. Tech Marine hit him with a servo arm, failed a wound, had no command points, was so upset. And then he hit him with the axe. 1 went through, and got him with that 2 damage axe, and his 4-up feel no pains failed him there. It was amazing. Nurgle is blessing us with little June bugs all over the place. So yeah, that's it. So teleporting away over here means I lost my big engage, but I still got a baby engage. Got the mission bonus because I now have more models on that objective, so I took that back. I'm hoping I can take that back by the end of the game, and then we'll see. Mr. Dread Knight back here is way too far out of the way, but hopefully he can get up and do some business up there. So that's it. We're down to not much left for the Grey Knights. We're just trying our desperate best to hold on. So we'll be back in a minute for Nurgle turn 4. Alrighty guys, that's the end of the Nurgle Deamons turn 4. Over here, back and forth, we took some wounds, didn't do a lot of wounding, it is what it is, so this is still there. He did bring this dude back because of the silly bell, but I do have 4 on the objective to his 2. So I'll still hold that one, that's nice. This cluster stayed the same. Over here, the Plague Bearers, they came stomping in onto my captain.
Don't
Not
you
the
take morale
Dreadnought.
though? You didn't see it?
No, nobody hurt anybody over there.
Oh, okay.
Or if I
it has
did-
to be a complete removal of the
Yeah,
model.
yeah.
Okay.
So everybody's fine over there.
Even though
Over
lots of wounds.
here, we had, this is the most annoying thing right here. Okay, so fighting, we kill a bunch, kill a bunch. Doing my consolidate, I can get 3 onto here. They kill him down to 3. 3 obsec, 3 obsec. What does this dude roll? He rolls a 1 for his morale. So he still has tied me up. I don't take the point yet. It was very frustrating. All he had to do was fail with 1. And I didn't want to fail totally because he has 2 command points. So if we killed all of them, he would just pay to bring them back, and that would be even worse. So I really just needed 1 guy to lead. So now I'm kind of in a pickle. I think what I'll end up having to do is probably just fall back with that unit, and we'll shoot, I guess. I don't know. Smite him. Who knows? But I just don't need to kill all of them. Just need to hold that point. So it's tricky with this silly chaos Nurgle Demon mess against Grey Knights. So he was holding that 1, 2, and 3. So he got 12 for the command or victory points on that. He got another couple of banner points and engaging points, and that's it. So that's now taking us to battle round 5. This game, I really don't know which way it's going to go yet because he's got hordes and swarms, but they're not super killy. So there's a chance I can still do it, but man, is it rough. This is the craziest game I've ever played. I'm having a great time with this. Nurgle Deamons, wild stuff. So we'll be back for Grey Knights turn 5 in a minute. Alrighty guys, Grey Knights turn 5 has ended. I held this objective because they're sticky if you have OBSEC. Held that objective. So I got 8 for primary. Back over here, nothing big happened except that I spent my 1 fresh command point for them to fall back and still shoot and charge. So here's what we did over here. We tried real big to do some cool things. My interceptors shot at them. We only managed to kill like 1 of the 8 in shooting, which was a little disappointing because what I'd hoped was to kill all but 2 or 3, and then I could make a charge where I would get towed into the objective. And even if he heroic or any of those things, I would be able to kill all the plague bearers and still have toes on the objective, and I would outnumber his 2 models. It didn't work because they didn't die right away, and then they failed morale. So in the end, it worked, but it didn't work fast enough. Over here, all I did was walk forwards to get all 5 on the objective, so I stole that back. Didn't kill them because I don't need him bringing them back. So that's that. Back here, the Dreadnought, after whiffing with all 5 attacks last turn, killed the Great Unclean One this turn. It was swell. Brother Captain is just getting lots of hugs and tickles over there. He killed 3 for their efforts. Didn't really do a whole lot, but he did a thing. Over here, we managed to finally kill 2 of these dudes, and then the last one failed his morale. My Tech Marine did lose his life charging into the Snailman, but then this Dreadnought got angry and killed the Snailman. Between these 3 Dread Knights and the Dreadnought, we killed, oh yeah, I just said it, killed 2.5. And then he ran away on a morale failure. So, that's the end of my turn. I picked up the 8. I picked up the bonus because mission bonus, because I took an objective that wasn't mine over there. And then that was kind of it. I engaged in 3 of the 4 fronts, so I got 2 for that. I did pick up another few for no prisoners by killing the beasts here, and killed enough poxwalkers to give myself another 2 on the no prisoners front. That's about it. So it's actually a very close score, I will have you know. We'll be back in a minute for the Nurgle turn 5, and we'll do the tallying and the scores and see how close it actually is. We'll be back, Nurgle Deamons turn 5. Oh, I hate this strat. Nurgle Deamons is over, turn 5 has ended. This dude, because he spent his 2 CP that he wisely saved. I tried really hard, man. I tried to get you to, like, interrupt combat. I tried to get him to reroll saves, but he was smart enough to resist the temptation. This dude just hops in, 9 inches away, lands him on my objective, steals my objective, so he managed to get a big 12 on the last turn for his, primary. I'm looking at the score. I'm missing 12. Yeah, you had another 12 points on the score. Hello, that's funny. So I did the scores wrong. It's a lot closer than it looked. I was thinking something was wrong there. Everybody here was fine. We did do some psychic stuff. He healed this guy up, tried to get him out of his bottom bracket. Not quite enough to do that. He charged and killed all but 1 of my interceptors. They killed the last one. Over here, I killed a single plague bearer because he rolled saves and feel no pains. And back here, stayed the same. He didn't bother charging me with those plague bearers because that would be kind of silly. So at the end of the game, he firmly controlled 1, 2, and 3 for another 12 points, which brings us to a total of 87 for the Grey Knights, 70 for Nurgle Deamons, and this is with some rough secondaries. So his raised banners did not go super well. No prisoners was, maybe if y'all can think of some other objective secondaries that would have been better, let us know in the comments. But any of the psychic ones we would have been trying to deny, and it's pretty unreliable. No prisoners, if he killed all 5 of my units of Marines, was going to get 5 points for it. He got 4 out of the 5. Grind them down. He has no shooting. His melee is fairly lacking, so it would have not been much fun. And so that's what really hurt him the most on that. He did engage all the times. That was another 2, so it was 72, because I forgot that also. Would have been 73 points total to 87 points. Sorry, I'm seeing things that I didn't add up earlier. So 87 to 73, a very close game. Those guys coming back, I almost killed that unit back there, but decided not to. All this stuff over here finally was able to eliminate. So that's how it ends, the end of the story. What a wild, fun game. Do you have anybody that you would consider a most valuable player, sir? MVP for your game?
Probably
your strat to bring back entire units for 2 command points.
That guy never died.
This guy did not die. He got close in the beginning. I thought maybe I'd just pop him, and
never died.
then I was like, no, I can't, because he'll just bring him back for 2 command points, and I don't get points for killing them. It was just fun. I really like this Grey Knights list I'm playing with right now. It seemed to do work. This guy was good for a couple of things, and then didn't get to do a whole lot because I was bad positioning. But just a lot of fun. I hope y'all enjoy this game. This was a really cool game. Nurgle Deamons, fantastic looking army, super well painted, and yeah, hope y'all enjoyed it. We'll catch you back next time for another Kitchen Table Wargaming Battle Reports in the near future.